Alright guys, I am back with another video as far as our offense is concerned. Basically our 53-man roster has been set, and I'm just going to go ahead and touch on the next position group. I started with the running backs because that was a little bit easier, and I'm going to go on ahead and get to the quarterbacks, get this simple stuff out of the way. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you continue to like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notification bells. I'll keep you updated on everything 49ers. I'm always representing them, and I'm always letting y'all know what's really going on and keeping y'all up to date on exactly what we need to be doing and how the team is doing. But I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give it to you straight, no chasers. So let's get right into it with that being said. So, we're going to start off with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo only played 3 games. He went 1-2. He went down in the Kansas City game, and as we all know, unfortunately, he tore his ACL. So, before that happened, Jimmy Garoppolo had a 59.6 completion percentage. He had 718 yards. He was averaging 8.1 yards to throw, which basically means every 2 times he threw the ball, basically would have been a touchdown from a technical standpoint. He had 250 yards per game. His deep ball was 56 yards. He had 5 TDs and he had 3 interceptions. Now the issue that we face here is he took 13 sacks in only 3 games played. So here's the big issue with that, people. 13 sacks in 3 games? That wasn't good. That means the offensive line was not looking too great. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy's not one of those guys who's going to pull the ball down and run around and try to create things. He's not a Patrick Mahomes or, any of the other mobile quarterbacks or Russell Wilson or anything like that. You're not going to catch him doing stuff like that. It's just not his thing. It's not who he is. He learned from Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a statue in the pocket, if anything. Garoppolo's more athletic than that. I'm going to give him that because I have seen him move around, but, it is what it is. Now, Jimmy is back healthy. He's looked great during the preseason, save for the Denver game. They came out and they rushed and they did everything they could. Next thing you know, Garoppolo was under duress. He looked like shit. He had probably the worst quarterback rating ever of his career, but, it's preseason. So, they went ahead and put their starters in, and Bradley Chubb wreaked havoc on our offensive line. Next game he came out against, the very same team he, tore that ACL against, and that was Kansas City, and he did his thing. He looked a lot better. I think he was like 14-20. He had like 168, 178 yards, something to that effect. He did a fantastic job in that Kansas City game, and he looked like he was back to form. He didn't play in the 4th preseason game, obviously, because the 4th preseason game is for people who are trying to make the squad. That's basically what that is. But as far as Jimmy Garoppolo is concerned, with the 49ers, his full-on record, honestly, will be 6-2, because the last few games that he played for us, he won all 5, so we went on that streak. It was great. We loved it. We were ready to come into the season hot and just do some things. So he's lost a few games, so it's good for him, mentally to be able to understand how to lose and what goes on. I mean, Brady ain't went undefeated, but he went into the season every year with Belichick knowing that they was going to the playoffs. This is a guarantee. They was always going to win the division because nobody would beat them in the division. It's still that way because Brady's still playing. But enough about Brady. We're going to stay with Garoppolo because that's our guy. We got him, for a 2nd-round pick, and we did pretty good, I'm very optimistic about this year. He looks great. He looks good in the pocket. I don't see any regression. I don't see any problems. I don't see anything negative about his knee. So I'm very happy with it, So the next guy up is unfortunately still on the team. And I say unfortunately because I thought this motherfucker would have been cut and or traded by now. But he's still here. Good old Mr. C.J. Beathard. Now, Beathard last year had a 60.4% completion percentage, 1,252 yards. He averaged 7.4 yards per throw, 220 yards a game. His deep ball was 82 yards, and he had 8 TDs. But he also had 7 interceptions. So it's like 50-50. So that means, for every TD, you almost throw an interception, no bueno. He took 18 sacks. So he played about 4 games. He appeared in 6 games, but he played 4 games basically, in total for his record, and he lost all of them. Lost every single start. I'm not going to say everything's on him because defense has to hold up and they have to do things, but at the same time, for somebody who gets into the pocket, this dude looks scared, he looks shaky, he looks like he thinks he's about to get hit every 5 seconds, and he's just indecisive. He puts the ball in the wrong spots. He's very Tony Romo-esque, and I say that lightly because Romo did win. He did win some games, whereas CJ just hasn't won anything, and I understand. I'm sorry. There are a lot of people who care for him and like him. I don't. He's not a winner. And 49ers, we're winners. And that's what we need to continue to be. We need to get back to our winning ways. We need to get back to the Harbaugh days, the Bill Walsh days. Shit, even the Steve Mariucci days. You know what I'm saying? With Dennis Erickson. I mean, we got to get back to the times where we were great and we were respected and we were feared in the league. We don't want anybody to come into a game and go, oh, it's just the Niners. Well, that's the W on the list. No, we don't have time for that. We want people to respect us. And with CJ at the helm, we ain't gonna get that respect. They gonna look and go, that motherfucker looking like he about to piss his pants every time they hike the ball to him. So with that being said, it is what it is. He's still here. Looks like we were asking for probably at least a 4th round pick, maybe even a 5th rounder, and nobody's willing to give that up to get him. But there are teams out there that do need quarterback help. So hopefully somebody comes calling. And at least, a 5th rounder is more than enough for CJ Beathard. If somebody gives you a 4th rounder, you got lucky. Now, if you get anything more than a 4th rounder for CJ Beathard, you can just struck gold. Somebody comes around and says, man, I'm desperate, I'll give you a 3rd rounder. Sure, I'll take it. Thank you very much. But it is what it is, man. He's lost all this game. He's won one game in his whole career. And that was in one game a couple years ago when we had Jimmy G come in right around Halloween, and that was against the Giants, and that was a fluke that he won that game. So it is what it is. So, that's all I really have to say about Mr. Beathard there. Now he played those games. He had took 18 sacks. So the one thing is we have to make sure that we get this together, because we can't have it to a point where we're allowing teams to have 2 sacks per game. Because we played 16 games last year and we allowed 37 sacks. We allowed 48 sacks. You know what I'm saying? That's no bueno, man. So we got to get better with that. We got to get a lot better, than that kind of number. The O-line's got to stay keeping our guys upright. Now on to the true backup quarterback, Nick Mullins. So there's supposed to be an announcement on Monday of who the backup quarterback is. I don't even know why the fuck we're going through all this. We know it's going to be Nick. And when he comes out and says that, I'm pretty sure all the reporters are going to go, okay, tell us something we don't fucking know. It's very simple. Nick went ahead, he played 8 games. You know what I'm saying? Nick, 274. He had 64.2 completion percentage, 2,277 yards, 8.3 yards per pass. His deep ball was 85 yards. He had 13 touchdowns, and he had 10 interceptions. So I know what I said about CJ, where it's almost a ratio where you have, you're either throwing a touchdown or you're throwing a pick. I get that. But one thing about Nick Mullins was Nick Mullins looked comfortable in the pocket. He's decisive. He's quick. He makes the right decisions, and he does them as often as possible. He's not one of those guys who's going to get out of the pocket and run or do anything crazy. But nobody knew who the fuck Nick Mullins was when he came in and played the Raiders and whooped their ass all up and down the field. Nobody knew that. Everybody said, well, it's the Raiders, so we can't really count that. It's still an NFL team. John Gruden thought it fit to put those people on the field to go against Nick Mullins and say, hey, this is the rookie quarterback. Eat him up. Go get him. Take him down. And he lit that ass up. He did everything he needed to do. So I can't be mad at, Nick Mullins for going out there and doing what he's supposed to do. To prepare, just to give you an idea of who this guy is, to prepare for the Seattle game, he put on headphones that were blasting loud and went through the cadence, went through the calls to be able to figure out how to best relay that to the line and to the receivers and to the backs, just to prepare for Seattle's noise, because when you go into that fucking Hawks nest, it's going to be loud as a motherfucker and they're going to cheer for their team. So his preparation, the way he plays the game, how he looks in the game, and his decision making to me is way better than C.J. Beathard's ever will be. So I like Nick Mullins. I feel like he's definitely going to be great as our backup. If God forbid anything happens to Jimmy Garoppolo, but if it does, hopefully, if it happens early enough in the season, we go, okay, you know what? Fucking Nick, get your ass in there and take us to these fucking playoffs. We have the pieces to the puzzle to do so. Shanahan's offense does not call for starting running backs. It does not call for a number one receiver. If you have either, then you're lucky. That's great. It's fantastic. But if not, you need to have 5 or 6 receivers and at least 2 running backs that can get the job done. Your running backs need to do what they need to do, and your receivers need to catch the goddamn balls. So it's very simple. You know what I'm saying? Nick Mullins is going to be our backup. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be our starter. C.J. Beathard is going to be our third string guy. And C.J. most likely won't dress for the games. He'll most likely be the inactive dude on the squad. Because there's no reason for us to dress 3 quarterbacks for one fucking game. You dress 2, like normal fucking people. You know, so as far as our quarterbacks are concerned, I'm not worried about Jimmy coming out this season. I feel like this is going to be a season for him to make a statement to the NFL because everything about him is still in question. We don't know what he looks like for a full season. And I'm not saying that it's going to be a negative thing, but we don't know. That's just fucking facts. And if anybody doesn't like that, oh well. I'm sorry, you don't like the truth. But the beauty of it is this is a season where we can just continue to grow and build and take things. We have a defense now that gives us a right to be able to start taking the ball away, get more turnovers, put more pressure on the quarterback, do all the right things that we need to do to be able to put the ball back in the offense's hands. You know what I'm saying? I want Uncle Sherm to get a pick and go over to Jimmy and go give me some goddamn points. And I ain't talking about 3, I'm talking about 6, motherfucker, with an extra point from Robbie motherfucking Gould, who's good as gold when it comes to an extra point. Go out there and give me my damn points. I want, Defoe and everybody to get sacks and, wreak havoc on everyone so that they can put the ball back in the offense's hands and give Jimmy G as many opportunities to show everyone, including himself. Because I'm 100% sure that he's a guy who's hard on himself. Give himself the chance to say, you know what, I did it. I played a full season. We got to the playoffs. I did what I could for the squad. This gives us great momentum going into next year. I can look up and look forward and say, I earned my contract. I earned this money. Can't nobody say nothing negative about me no more. Yeah, it may be 1 year, but at the same time, I still got enough, on tape to say that I did it, that I'm worth, a starting quarterback, being a starting quarterback in this league, and that I'm worth all the money that they threw at me when they signed me after I went on that hot streak and won those 5 games. So this year is going to be great for our quarterbacks. We do have that idiotic announcement on Monday. I have no reason to believe that nobody other than Nick Mullins will be our backup. If some freak of nature chance C.J. Beathard becomes the backup, some ungodly reason, I don't know what the fuck he would be thinking. Shanahan, you got to be crazy. Now, neither one of them separated themselves from each other during the preseason, but at the same time, it's obvious. Nick went out there and was winning games, and had the games he lost, he was close. He almost had them shits won. I think a few of those games would have been on the defense. But there is no reason for us to go through a debate about this. It's very simple. Okay? These are your quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins number 2, C.J. Beathard number 3. Wooden Spates on the practice squad. I don't even know why the fuck we signed him. He looked like shit in the preseason. He fumbled. He threw the ball the wrong play. It was a walking atrocity. Now I understand why he went in and he left Michigan, because they was like, look, you suck. Then he went on to my college squad that, I never went there, but that's who I root for because I'm from LA. He went on to UCLA and he did all right. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson came in and took his fucking job too. So, just saying. But either way, y'all, that's all for the quarterbacks. Y'all stay Niner faithful. Continue to represent the game. I'm out.